Greetings, everybody. This is Winnie Wriggle, and welcome back to Direwolf20's 1.16 mod pack. Today, we're building a greenhouse. This is the blueprint behind me. I have leveled off some land right on the outside of our base near our bee apiary. And not only are we going to build a greenhouse to hold our crops, we're going to automate them. Well, I mean, technically they're already automated because they're in hopping bonsai pots, but we're going to make them accessible through the storage system. I debated on whether to do the automation first or finish the building first and came up with kind of a compromise. The markers on the floor of this blueprint are in fact oak trim from storage drawers, and they're just marking the places where eventually I will set up some storage drawer systems. And we will do that after we finish our build. So first, let's take a look at our palette. I've decided that our primary building block is going to be warped stem from Vanilla Minecraft Nether. Also, it's a greenhouse, and that's kind of a green block. I think it'll work. I'm hoping to make this some kind of combination of the stripped logs and the different variations of trapdoors from Macaw's. These are warped barn trapdoors. So here's how this is going to work. I'm going to build a little bit and show some progress, and then build a little bit more and show some more progress, and then build a little bit more, and hopefully, eventually, we'll get to a completed build. I had a little friendly reminder from one of my online friends that people sometimes like to watch the progress of a build instead of just being shown the final product. Also, expect this thing to change quite a bit from the way it looks now, because that's just the kind of builder I am. Let's get started. Wait, look at this. Look what I just bought from this guy. It's a sombrero. Ole. I love it. This is my new hat for the rest of the series. Ta-da! Our greenhouse build is finished. Let's go take a look. So I did just a touch of the landscaping that will eventually be done around the entire build. Those are leaves from the mineral trees from Integrated Dynamics. And then of course, a little bit of prismarine and stripped warped stem. So here it is in all of its glory. Let's take a spin around the outside and then we'll look at the inside. This is all warped stem and prismarine with a couple of tiny touches like the anvils. And then these window panes are actually from Create. I thought they went nicely. The circular warped windows are also a Create block. I love them. So we kept the original shape of the building. I just replaced that bottom blueprint layer of blocks with the actual blocks from the build, like the walls and the trapdoors. I kept some of them here. You can see the remnants on the corners. And this was definitely a case of I wanted a build that looked like it had been built to fit the shape of the land. I'm here to tell you, it's Minecraft. You can make the land any shape you want. So yes, I did a little terraforming to make the land look more like the build. Mostly so that it sits properly on this chunk of land and doesn't look like it's hanging off or inappropriately sized or whatever. Like there's a little bit right here, but we can clean that up with some more landscaping. Now let's take a look at the inside. Here in particular, I want to point out the floor that I've created It's a greenhouse, so I thought it would be cool if it had grates in the floor, just like you would find in a normal giant greenhouse. So these are just warped trapdoors with prismarine slabs underneath. There are also a few prismarine lanterns just for lighting. This also gives us great access for setting up the actual storage drawer system part of our build today. And I'll finish out the rest of the floor in some kind of pattern that goes with the rest of the build. Now that we've taken a tour, let's set up the actual storage drawers in the greenhouse. So I have everything we're going to need in my inventory, and it literally is just a couple of drawer controllers and a bunch of oak trim. The idea is that we're going to take all of these hopping bonsai pots and their associated storage drawers and move them into the greenhouse area in order to clean up this part of the base. Also in my inventory, you're going to see that I have 2 storage drawers that are separate from the rest. These I have taken. One holds all of our chorus fruit and one has, I think, the warped stem from the nether. And so we're going to use these as test items for our new storage drawer system. So the first thing I'm going to do is lay out rows of trim. Trim you can think of as like the cable for a storage drawer system. You can use it to span distances between drawers or go around corners. In this case, I'm literally using it as a way to connect all of the drawers in this area to a single controller. And we're going to put that controller down here. And you'll see that I can see the oak trim in the corner. So I'm just going to make a row of trim all the way out to the center and do the same thing on the other side. And in the very middle, where I can access it, I'm going to put our drawer controller. Now, in order to hook the drawer controller up to our storage system, we need to put a connector on it. And then I'm going to name the connectors so that we know which connector belongs to what area of the base. So this one could be Greenhouse 1. So this connector is able to see any drawer that is attached to any of these oak trim. So we're going to put an example down at one end. That is just the drawer that's holding all of our warped stem, wart block, and shroom lights. So let's do the same thing on this side of the greenhouse. Make our 2 rows of oak trim. And then be sure that we connect them. And then in the middle, we put another drawer controller. Ta-da! And then another connector. And we'll name this connector Greenhouse 2. Now, the cable I've already run down where we had to run another system underneath the ravine part of the base. So it goes all the way over here and then up in a crazy windabout round way. So this is the back of our main storage area. So if I go around here, you can see here we are in our workshop once again. If we right-click our storage scanner in here, you can see that we already have 3 drawer controllers set up to our storage system. One's for our ores, one's for miscellaneous item, and one is for our mob farm. We need to add the 2 storage drawers that we just set up to this storage system. The way we do that is going into our Xnet controller, because it's the thing that actually controls the entire network. So we want to go to the channel that is our storage channel, which is the very first one. You can see that because it's got all the storage controllers and the existing drawer controllers already attached to it. And we can see if we look at this, there are 2 new controllers that don't have any network associated with them. So we'll pick the first one and just say create, and it is an inventory. So we'll leave it as inventory, and then we'll do the same thing for the second one. Select it so that it's highlighted and say create, and it is also an inventory. And I think if we hover over them, you can see the names that we called them. So there's greenhouse 1 and there's greenhouse 2. So now those 2 drawer controllers are a part of our Xnet storage network that's being handled through RF Tools. So this time when we open the RF Tools storage scanner, we can see that the 3 existing drawer controllers are there, but where are 2 new ones? We need to rescan the network in order for them to show up. We do that by coming down here to where it says Xnet and pressing the slider button. And you can see that those 2 drawers show up. And I want to move them up in the hierarchy because our drawer controller should always be the first priority for items going into them. And you can see here is probably greenhouse 2, and there are all the chorus fruit and chorus flower that are in them. And then here's the one that I set down that has the warped stem, and we want it to go up. We're just selecting move inventory up until all of our drawer controllers are at the top of the list. So now whenever we put anything into the storage system, it's going to try to put it into our storage drawers first before it throws it in our miscellaneous buckets. So if I use my tablet scanner, I should be able to search for warped stem, and now you can see that I have access to the fungus, the warped stem, and the warped wort block that are in that storage drawer over in the greenhouse. Now we just have to move all of the storage drawers that we were growing things into from the hopping botany pots into the greenhouse. Let me go do that, and I'll bring you back to show you the final result. We're back! Are you ready to see the final product? Here are all of the hopping botany pots and the storage drawer system they go with. For those of you who are wondering why I put the drawer trim above ground, this is why, so I could stack them. We now have access to all of the things that we were growing and then some. I added some flowers and other items that we actually didn't have in botany pots yet, as well as some modded items, all of our trees, a few of the Botany flowers, and we may add more, and there's still plenty of room for expansion. I think I have about 20 or so botany pots that are empty, so as we find things we want to grow, we can add them to our farm. We still have a lot of room back here in the greenhouse. Maybe we'll find something else that relates to greenery and growing things that can go in here. But right now, I have other changes outside to share with you. I've done a little landscaping. Now that we have some above ground buildings, I'm working on the way our above ground works, specifically over here by our bee apiary. I did a little bit of test landscaping outside the doors and added the benefit of having our apiary, which is the honey block, so we can build with now. And I'll tell you, the apiary is doing really well. Not only do we have this much honeycomb, we have nearly 6,000 in storage too. I'll hook this output up to our storage system off camera, but for right now, let's take a look at the other thing I did, was just to build a custom tree, and then I used brilliant fiber from Nature's Aura to convert the tree leaves into golden leaves. So now I have a golden Nature's Aura tree in a custom size, which is great since you can't shear these and move them around. And with this landscaping done and our brand new greenhouse built, I think that's everything we have time for today. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed the episode, please leave a like. It helps me out and I appreciate it. If you'd like to keep up with what's going on the channel, don't hesitate to subscribe. And remember, as always, you are the shiny stuff that awesome is made of. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.